Hey, welcome to our roof. Ha!
Traveling, exploring, and learning on the road. Furman's Family Road Trip.
So we're going to tell you about our last moving day, which was quite a series of unfortunate events. It started out, actually, the unfortunate events started the day before when we saw a little mouse outside of our trailer. And then I opened up one of the drawers and found mouse droppings in a drawer. So Doug quickly ran to the store, bought some mouse traps. He bought the sticky mouse traps and the snap traps and some mouse poison. We put it down and overnight caught the mouse. So hopefully it was only one and he's gone.
In the meantime, though, he had gotten stuck in one of the sticky traps we had already, and he left a nice little mess underneath our stairs. It was real fun to clean up too.
So we had to scrub that. It did not smell good at all.
Still is struggling with the smell.
And then we noticed water was coming out underneath one of the cabinets.
I, of course, tore into the plumbing thinking we had something loose, a seal bad. Keep in mind it had been raining for a couple days straight. So finally, with a flashlight and a little ingenuity, I noticed that one of the outdoor speakers that has a hole in through to the cabinet was leaking water. So we put the awning out, waited for the rain to set, pulled the speaker out, and then put some caulking around that. Hopefully it seals.
So far it hasn't leaked again. It finished raining that day, but we were fine with water from that. So that was the day before moving day. And then overnight, Emmett peed in his diaper. He's generally, for probably, 6 or 8 months, he hasn't peed in his diapers overnight. So I got to get up in the middle of the night, change his diaper, so I did not sleep well. And then we got up and it was moving day. And at the last minute, Doug decided to check, and we realized that the next place we were coming did not have hookups, only electrical. And so we hurried and did a load of laundry. We didn't have hookups at the last place either, so we were putting off laundry until we moved. But realizing we were going to have less hookups here, we hurried and did a load of laundry, which caused the washer to overflow.
The gray tank.
The gray tank into the area where the washing machine is, right where the washer connects into the drain hose, leaked up. So that was an easy cleanup. But we cleaned that up at the last minute before moving. And then Doug went to unhook everything.
As we're unhooking the utilities, we realized that the dog bone to the surge protector had shorted and it had burned up a prong on both sides. So therefore making it unusable. Or you could use it, I suppose, but it'd be very dangerous. So that's something we had to deal with on the way.
So then Doug took the trailer over to the dump station to dump our tanks before moving, and I noticed a tick on Emmett. I actually noticed it a day or two earlier. It was like right in his armpit, and I thought that it was just dirt. And
very, very, very small.
It's a super tiny little tick. It was just like one little speck. I had to look really closely to see if it even was a tick. When I noticed it the first day, I just thought that it was dirt, and I figured no big deal. It didn't just brush off, and so I was going to just be sure he got clean in his bath. And then I noticed it again and tried to brush it off, and it wasn't coming off. And that's when I took a really close look. But luckily for us, we bought the tick tornadoes to get ticks out, and we got it right out. And he seems fine. So at least that was taken care of.
Alright, so then we're pulling out, and it had been raining a lot, so the ground was really soft on the sides of the road, and I was trying to take a turn, and I didn't take it as wide as I should have, and I ran over a post. It was like a 4-inch PVC pipe into the ground to kind of mark the roads. Oh, but I drug it underneath the trailer. Don't see any damages, but it definitely could have caused some damage. So we had some packages delivered to the post office there where we were staying. The address to the campground was really weird, so we were having a hard time getting Amazon to accept it, so we just went general delivery instead. And we had had a rough time with packages this trip anyway. We had some stuff that was supposed to come to that campground, but somehow ended up at the one we went to back in Virginia, or we're still in Virginia, but in Lynchburg, Virginia. So we ended up having to deal with some returns and, having some labels shipped out. So mail has not been great for us the past week. So then we had some packages sent to the post office.
And we got there, what time did we get there? At 11?
11.
And the sign on the door said the post office opens at 12:30. So we're ready to move on to our next destination, which was about 2.5 hours away. And I had to sit and wait for the post office to open. So I decided to just go to Walmart and pick up a few things that we need. So I went there and I had paid for all the stuff that we were getting. I was on the way out the door and Doug texted something about the new electrical thing that we needed to replace the one that burned up. And I thought, oh, good timing. I had just paid for my stuff, but I haven't left yet, so I can run over and get it. So I went and bought one, paid for it, headed out to the car, and I had sent him a picture of the one that I got, and he said, I think that's backwards. The other side needs to be male and the other one female. So I went out to the car and I checked because I brought the burnt up one with me. It was sitting in the car, and sure enough, it was the wrong one. So I had to go back into Walmart again, return it, go check and see if they had the right one, and they were out of stock.
Which is good though. She had an hour and a half to burn until the post office opened.
So I finally make it back to the post office and told the lady we had some general delivery packages. She went and grabbed them, and as she's walking back to bring them to me, the phone rings. And she sits on the phone for, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm just like sitting there waiting while she's about 2 feet away from me, talking on the phone, holding my packages. So she finally gets off the phone, I get my packages, and we were on our way. I needed gas, so I stopped at the gas station, and by that point we're way late. Emmett's getting sick of being in the car already because we had to waste extra time driving back and forth to Walmart, and so I forgot to get my receipt at the gas station, which isn't that big of a deal. On moving days, I always listen to podcasts in the car. And so I was listening to my podcast, it was really good, and about 5 minutes before the end, it just shut off. Couldn't hear anything. I tried to reset it, thinking maybe it was just bad internet connection on my phone, but no, something was wrong with the podcast, so I didn't get to hear the last 5 minutes of it, so that kind of sucked.
So then I get to the new campground, which is a state park in the state of Maryland, and I knew it only had electricity, so I asked the gatekeeper, where can I get some fresh water to fill up? She's like, well, I don't know, I'm new. So I was like, well, where's the dump station? There's usually fresh water to dump station to places like this. So she shows me on a map that there's a dump station and it's on a dead end. So I said to her, I go, so is there room to turn around? I'm in a pretty big rig. She's like, oh yeah, there's plenty of room and there should be water. So I get down there and I get kind of wedged in by this tree, and I get out and there's no fresh water there. There's a hose hooked to a faucet, but it didn't say it was potable, it didn't say it wasn't potable, so it's not something I wanted to fill my tank with. So then I hop in and I look at the map and it says that there's fresh water throughout the park, so I was like, well, I can just stop somewhere in the loop, hopefully, and get some. And so then I get in, start to drive, and I hear the trailer didn't make the turn as fast as I anticipated, and I drug a tree along the side. I tore 6 holes in the roof's cover, and I also tore off a vent for the refrigerator, and I believe that also has one of the gray tank vents in it. And we have actually replaced that vent cover before because of hitting a tree as well. So then I get into the loop and I find the fresh water, and so I'm kind of pulled over to the side, but the roads are really narrow, and I'm filling up a 120-gallon fresh tank, and I got people behind me basically tapping their fingers and I figured they were going to start honking before long. So I felt rushed, so I was hurrying, and on top of that, the faucet didn't have a knob. You had to actually hold it, and the minute you let go, it closed, which I believe is a great feature, but not when you're trying to fill up 120 gallons. So that definitely was not fun. So then we get parked, and I had bought some new ends for the electrical connectors, and I was sawing they have hard rubber, so I wanted to take off as much and keep as much of the wire as I could so I could clean it up and add a new connector. Well, I hit my finger with the saw, not real bad, but enough to have blood everywhere and look like I had been hurt majorly.
And then I finally made it to the campground a couple hours after him. And we went over to the bathrooms. And there's a sign on the wall that says, "Watch out for ticks and chiggers." We've been watching out for ticks the whole time. We keep checking the kids.
What's a chigger?
Chiggers are new to us. So we're like, great, way to top off a new day. Add some more bugs into it.
Hey, but you know, with this lifestyle, there are definitely a lot of downs and ups. Usually more ups than downs, but sometimes they go in a row.
And this was our first down day, I think.
With all so many downs, yeah.
But it turned out good in the end. We made it to an awesome state park. And it has 4 playgrounds and lots of places to bike and nature trails. And
We're gonna go paddleboard later in a creek that's just off of the Chesapeake Bay, or a river that goes into the Chesapeake Bay.
so it turned out good in the end. So if this were to happen to us on our first outing as full-timers, that would really suck. I see how people get discouraged, but I'd say stay with it because we've been on the road, how many months?
Almost 10.
10 months, and it was our first bad day, so.
Almost. We've had some other days that weren't so great, but never with so many.
And none of the things were major, but they just add up over time and
Yeah,
it sucked, but I still thought it was a good day even in the end, so.
definitely. Well, you know, if you like our videos, if you like this one, give us a thumbs up. Click the little subscribe button. And thanks for watching.
See ya.
If you like this video, you should go check out our library. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment. Subscribe to our channel. Check us out on Facebook or at FomansFamilyRoadTrip.com.